Hello, Taurus, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs, and cross watchers. This is your tarot reading for whenever you are finding it. If you're watching along as I post because you're subscribed, this is for the week of January 20th through the 26th, 2025. I just want to thank you all for being here. Thank you to everyone who's left a donation, who's downloaded my free ebook, tarot guide, and any otherwise have ever worked with me. I'm just feeling very grateful today. So first card out for you is the Two of Swords in reverse. Okay, keeping the peace when it destroys your own internal peace is something that your spirit guides and higher self is highly recommending you do not do. So for example, if you know that speaking up and setting boundaries for yourself is going to offend someone or make them react very aggressively, and so in order to avoid that, you simply don't speak up, you may think that you are maintaining a peaceful environment, but in reality, you are destroying your own internal peace. And the Two of Swords coming out in reverse is saying this is not a time to sit back idly when there are things going on that is going to destroy your own internal peace. And also, I want to argue destroying the peace of any of your closest relationships, because the people who love us most, the people who genuinely enjoy us as human beings, they will not feel at peace if you are not at peace. And so for example, like let's just say you have a friend who oftentimes crosses your boundaries and pushes your friendship into something more flirty and uncomfortable, and you try to avoid speaking up about that because you don't want to make things awkward or weird. You know, by keeping the peace, by not speaking up, you may be destroying your own internal peace by letting that person cross your boundaries. You may also be destroying the peace in your romantic relationship if you are in one. So that's an example of how these energies can unfold. Also, same thing with like work or any other place in life, or with in-laws, with family. If you have like a mother-in-law, father-in-law, or something like that, that is consistently asking inappropriate questions or just sort of budging into your home uninvited, unannounced, and you don't say anything to quote unquote keep the peace, again, you may be destroying your own internal peace, and that may build some resentment with the people closest to you. For example, like your romantic partner or anyone else involved in that situation. So again, message here is to not keep the peace, speak up. We have the Ace of Cups coming out in reverse, yes. See, this is the thing, coming out right next to that, I feel like you know that by setting your boundaries and speaking up and holding true to your own internal peace, it may take away some of that false, warm, fuzzy feelings and a sense of connection to the person who keeps overstepping your boundaries. Okay, so, you know, how do I put this? I feel like you're getting a false sense of intimacy or okayness in a certain connection in your life because you're not speaking up. Does that make sense? So it's like, let's just say you have a friend who constantly emotionally vents to you, even when you're drained, you're exhausted, you're going through your own stuff. By not speaking up and setting boundaries like, hey, I just need a little bit of space, I don't have time. You know, you're maintaining this false sense of okayness in your relationship when in fact it is not okay. Okay, so when you actually speak up and say something, you may intuitively know that that person is no longer going to be putting up this front of niceness to you. Maybe the reality of the situation sets in and you realize, oh, this person actually is not good, you know? So for example, like if you have a quote unquote friend and you set healthy boundaries with them and they get angry that you set those boundaries, that person was never your true friend to begin with because they don't actually care about you, you know? So when you protect your peace in this way, it will totally bring to the surface the fact that this person was never real to begin with. They were never a real friend to begin with. The love was not there to begin with, you know, because you're dropping the illusion. You're releasing the illusion that this was all okay. So Taurus, that's what I'm seeing. You know, someone, after you set boundaries with them, they may no longer be quite as nice as they once were previously when you had poor boundaries. Does that make sense? And Spirit wants to affirm for you That is okay. There's nothing wrong with that. You are seeing the truth of this individual, and the truth now becomes your reality. Not this weird rose-colored glasses, fake kindness, fake niceness that was going on. Spirit doesn't like that energy, okay? Like, that is not in alignment with truth and harmony and peace and love, you know? So that's not good. It's better to openly hate each other, if that's the truth of the situation, than to put on this fake happy face and pretend that everything's fine. Am I making sense? It's just better to live in truth than it is to put up this fake front. We have the King of Cups coming out in reverse. Okay, yeah. I think in particular with this person, whoever it may be, the what makes this connection problematic, and also this is probably why you wanted to protect the peace in the first place, is because they have very poor control over their emotional reactions. Okay, this is somebody who can at times be quite emotionally manipulative, jealous, envious. They don't really look in the mirror and work on themselves. They make everyone around them responsible for their own emotional regulation. Emotional regulation should be up to every single individual to handle and be responsible for on their own. Okay? It's not anyone else's job to make you happy, to make sure that your anger and feelings are expressed in a healthy way, to calm down your jealousies. Like, that's not how life works. And so King of Cups in reverse, this card always reminds me of someone who is not emotionally mature in that way. Like, they make their problems everyone else's problems. And again, emotional manipulation is like the first phrase that comes to my mind when the King of Cups comes out in reverse. This is someone who may appear very sad or angry or like, woe is me, I am the victim here, when things don't go their way. And whenever someone does that, specifically when things don't go their way or when people set up healthy boundaries with them, that is emotional manipulation. When you set boundaries with a friend or someone in your life and you're saying, hey, I get that you need someone to vent to, but I can't do it. I can't listen all the time because I got my own stuff going on, and sometimes it can be a little bit overstimulating for me. So today it's just not the day for that. However, you know, maybe in the future we can talk. I'm sorry, there's a massive hawk outside. Wow. Okay, some of you guys might have a hawk spirit watching over you, Taurus, which is beautiful. Hawks are beautiful spirit guides, you know, birds of prey. It really allows us to see things clearly, like hawk eye vision. You know, any big birds like that, they really come into our life, they swoop into our life to allow us to see situations for exactly what they are and to understand the truth of it. And I'm seeing that here. You're understanding the truth of this person, their manipulative ways, and you're being asked to set these appropriate boundaries here so they don't destroy your own internal peace, as well as the beautiful love and peace that you have going on in your own relationships. We have the King of Pentacles in reverse. Second row of cards now, two kings in reverse. Yeah, this shows two people not getting along for sure, and you're that pentacle. You know, you're that pentacle, King of Pentacles energy, even if you're a woman, doesn't matter. Okay, we have the Four of Cups right underneath the Ace of Cups reverse, and we have the Three of Swords in reverse. Yes, times are changing, and I think that someone is not going to be happy when you start really defending yourself, protecting your relationship or whatever you have going on here. And you may be having to navigate that. It feels like you're really removing yourself from the past, from any past stress and things of that nature. And King of Pentacles in reverse, your other piece of advice here is to allow change to take place. Don't just keep going with the flow, especially when the flow has not really been serving you. You know, King of Pentacles in reverse to me is somebody who may just do things the way things have always been done. But the thing is, like, if you've had poor boundaries in certain connections and that's always how it's been done, like, no, change that. Change that for the sake of you and the people who love you, okay? Four of Cups shows stability. Yes, things are settling down, settling in, becoming more stable. But, you know, you may have this opportunity for a fresh start that Spirit is really trying to bring you, especially with the Ace of Cups as well as the Four of Cups, because in the traditional Four of Cups card, it shows the universe handing you an extra cup, you know, something emotionally fulfilling, a brand new emotional, creative, fresh start. And especially with the Ace of Cups in reverse and then the Four of Cups right after that, right underneath it, you may accidentally be rejecting this new beginning by not listening to the lessons that are here for you, specifically this lesson that's really just the center of your attention this week, which is setting healthy boundaries with individuals. Having that, best friend who's constantly trying to sleep with you and flirt with you will destroy your romantic relationship that spirit is trying to grow for you. Okay. Holding on to your ex when you're trying to find new love and date new people will self-sabotage your ability to manifest somebody who's emotionally stable and good for you. Someone who's emotionally stable and good for you, they're not going to want that. They're not going to want that baggage. They're not going to want the drama with that. If you have poor boundaries in your life, the right people for you, they won't be attracted to that. It goes beyond love too. It's like when you have poor boundaries with work, that doesn't necessarily serve your career and financial life either. Poor boundaries with like yourself, burning yourself out, doing so much for the people around you. It's not going to serve anything. So that's your biggest lesson this week. Spirit is really, really emphasizing this lesson. They want you to master this because there is a lot of blessings and new developments that are trying to enter your life right now, but Spirit is really, really, really wanting to work with you. And like, I feel like your ancestors in particular are coming through in this reading and they're like, don't mess this up, Taurus. Like, there's something really beautiful happening for you. And it's like, please do not fall back into some old habits of people pleasing or having poor boundaries with whoever this individual is. Okay. Thank you so much for joining me. Definitely watch for your sun, moon, rising, and Venus signs to get the fullest overview of this week ahead. Like this video, comment how it resonated down below, and subscribe if you have not already. If you want a personal reading with me one-on-one, the link to that is always in the description box, spiritpsychic.org. I also offer my intention oils there, shamanic life coaching sessions there, as well as my online tarot reading course. So check it out. Bye-bye.